But I think as ever, I think to go back in time and let people know about your career, how you started and how you got to where you are today, I think frames everything nicely.
Sure. Well, I grew up in the Bahamas. I went to high school, college, and graduate school in the States. And that was back in the early 80s. Couldn't get a job in the big city of New York. So I decided to come back to the Bahamas. Worked for a trust company for a year and then applied for a job with Sir John Templeton. And he initially turned me down, which was disappointing. And then I thought, geez, I'll get him to sponsor me for the CFA exam. Back then, maybe it's still today, you need a CFA to sponsor you. There's only 2 on the island, thank goodness.
Oh,
Sir
wow.
John and a woman who was a professor. Anyway, he sponsored me for the exam. A year later, when I passed the first level, I wrote him back, said, thanks a lot. He invited me in for an interview and offered me a job. And that was sort of the beginning of a wonderful career for me. So I started off here in the Bahamas working as a research grunt for Sir John Templeton. It was Sir John, myself, 2 secretaries, 2 accountants, and a receptionist in a small office in an attic over a shopping center. And we ran, one of the most famous global equity shops in the world in an attic. It was really quite something until he decided to sell the business. He sold it in 92 to Franklin. And a couple of years before that, he built an office building. So he could get a better price on the sale, I think. And I was the head of global equity for Templeton, ran Templeton Foreign Fund and Templeton Growth Fund. And then in 2001, decided to go off on my own and started my own company that basically manages long only and hedge fund money for a small group of clients.
What was John's style like, and what did you learn from John, and how did your style differ over time?
Sir John was, an absolutely fascinating individual. I mean, he was a true contrarian. Everyone said Sir John was a great stock picker, but Sir John was also a fabulous market timer. And his style was a bit strange. When I first interviewed with him, he showed up in pink pants with a yellow jacket and suspenders, and he had butterflies all over the wall. And I thought, this is a sort of a different situation. And being in the Bahamas, I think he was so isolated, he could sort of think independently. We didn't have the internet back then. We didn't even have a fax machine when I joined. He was still using a slide rule when I joined him in 85, which was, it's a little bit scary for me because I'd forgotten how to use my slide rule. And he was very sort of cost conscious person, not only in terms of how he ran money, but in terms of how he ran his life. Never bought a new car till he turned 80. Used to use hotel stationery because it was cheaper than buying loose leaf. If the most excited I ever saw him was during the crash of 87, probably because he'd given me all the mutual funds in May of 87. But, he sort of loved problems in the market. And what I learned from him more than anything else is try to evaluate problems. And so one of my first jobs with him was to try to evaluate the Union Carbide explosion. I don't know if you remember, in Bhopal, India.
That's right, yeah.
And I still sort of get tingling thinking about it because it was, just incredible disaster. But for him, what does it mean monetarily? And try to put a price on that for Union Carbide and look at that relative to how the market reacted. So I guess he taught me to remove emotions out of the equation. And add, calculations and try to take advantage of adversity as much as you could.
Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. Look, if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and check out the video here on the right-hand side. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one as well. And if you're ready for more, go to realvision.com/join. I'll see you there.